In these lay a multitude of invalids, blind, lame, paralyzed. One man was there who had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him winding, and knew that he had already been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be healed?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I am going another steps down before me." Jesus said to him, "Get up, take up your bed and walk." And at once the man was healed, and he took up his bed and walked. Now that day was the Sabbath.
Perfect. I love that it was a Sabbath, right? But just kind of quick, and when we come to Israel, we really get a lot of understanding of the Jewish world that Jesus lived in. When we go to Turkey, we get a really firsthand glance at the Roman perspective of the time of Jesus, and then Paul off into the Roman world. And so when we go to Turkey, we really focus on all the different false gods and goddesses, and you see temple after temple everywhere you go. Well, does anybody know who Asclepius is? Someone who hasn't been to the Turkey trip.
God of healing.
The god of healing. Wasn't he there?
Yeah, he was there.
Asclepius was the god of healing in the Roman world, and I'm just going to say at the time of Jesus, it was for hundreds of years before then. The archaeologists around the Roman world have found more than 400 Asclepions. So an Asclepion would be like a hospital. Think of it like a hospital in our culture, but of course it was, there was all kind, I'm not going to go into it, but they had all kinds of healing. They believed that God would give you dreams and how to be healed, or the god Asclepius would give you dreams. But one of the main things was running water. They believed that water brought healing. They believed that the sound of water brought healing. And in Turkey, we went to the second biggest Asclepion, and we saw the whole water complex and how it was set up. And so they believed it was running water. So why would we bring that up here? Well, I love archaeology, of course. Pool of Siloam, we were just down there yesterday. They found it because they were repairing a sewage line. Isn't that cool? Wow. But until fairly recently, critics of the Bible, said the Bible's not accurate because there's no Pool of Siloam. But they found it. Now we're here at the Pool of Bethesda. I don't know the year it was found. Yehuda will tell us, I'll bet you. But for many, many years, it wasn't located. People said the Bible's inaccurate. There's no such thing as a Pool of Bethesda. And then they found it. And we know that this is the Pool of Bethesda. Something else interesting to note, at the time of Jesus, this was outside of the city wall. Today we're inside the modern old city, but at the time of Jesus, this was outside the city wall. And one of the interesting things, again, can't prove it, perfectly, but I'll just put it this way. This is one of the weirdest stories in the Gospels. Seriously, does this sound like a Jewish thing? The water's going to stir. An angel's going to come down. The first one in is going to get healed.
Hey, yo.
It's not a Jewish story. Not a Jewish culture here just outside the walls of Jerusalem in the Roman world.
It's not only that. What did Jesus told him? It is Shabbat.
Yeah.
And he told him,
Yeah.
Get up, take your bed with you.
That's right.
But was not allowed to carry anything.
That's
on
right.
Shabbat.
That's right. Yeah. And the Pharisees were watching. So the point is, there are a lot of scholars that, as they've studied the Pool of Bethesda with an understanding of Asclepion and Asclepius, that believe this may have been a pagan Roman healing center at the time of Jesus. And Jesus came here and healed a man who'd been lame for all those years. So that's an interesting thing. Would I teach that on Sunday morning at church? I don't know, but I will certainly tell you here. And maybe you'll want to do your own study. But I think it's very possible, because when you really study the Roman world that Jesus lived in, you realize the gods and the goddesses were everywhere. So I think this was an Asclepion. And maybe with more archaeology, they'll find more proof to it.
Asclepion from the 3rd century.
So we know from the 3rd century, it was operating as an Asclepion. So yes, Melinda.
If it had been from God, he would have turned the show into the water. He would have told me to go away from the water.
That's good. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, Jesus healed on the Sabbath, right in the front of the noses of the Pharisees. And if you saw The Chosen, have you seen The Chosen?
Some parts of it. I have it on mine.
Some of it's pretty well done. But one of the scenes I love is when they show this scene here, and he's leaving the city, and they're kind of like, gee, Jesus, you You did this on the Sabbath in front of the Pharisees. You could have waited 20 minutes and the sun would have been down. And Jesus gets a real serious look on his face. And he said, sometimes you just need to stir the waters. And it was a great moment. It was a great moment. So with that, please tell us about this place.